Mic'd up.
Lights from Lowlifes.
Oh,
From Lowlifes.
that theme song is only 15 seconds long, but he has to open his beer and spoil the song every single time. Yeah.
Boy, that just gets aggravating.
I'm
hmm
thirsty.
Thank you for joining us on Highlights from Lowlifes. Tonight, we are going to talk about our top five favorite center fielders of all time, kind of going with the theme of each position on the field and what we like from our childhood and in our adulthood. Um, Tonight, we have special guest Chuck Arthur joining us from the parking lot at the Stockton Ports game tonight. Who's Stockton playing tonight, Chuck?
Hell if I know.
You don't know.
You know what? As a matter of fact, thanks for reminding me. I got to get my ticket out of the
Yeah,
glove
get
box.
your ticket out and tell us who they're playing.
Boy,
They
when you
are
hire the
playing
man on the street,
the
he's
Rancho Cucamonga Quakes.
All right, the Quakes,
The
who I
Quakes,
believe are
as
they what, a
opposed to the
Dodger?
Quakers.
Yeah, are they a Dodger affiliate? I can't remember.
Boo!
I just wanted to say Dodgers so he could do that. Yeah,
Thank you.
just I'll
Thank
let
you.
you know, Chuck has all of his tickets in the center console.
yeah. If you're
Oh,
looking for extra tickets to the game, right
do
there
they
in the
give
center
do they
console.
give
Or
that away?
or if you want the
hmm
rest of the season for free.
And we have Terry Tiger Lee and Robbie Lanterman, and I'm Rob Weber. Sorry, I'll let the crowd die down there. Okay, I'm Rob Weber, and we are going to jump right in because we got to get Chuck to that game tonight. So we are going to start things off, and uh, Chuck, you let on who you might choose. So I'm going to give you first shot. Who is one of your top five center fielders of all time?
Well, this one's kind of obscure, but you know, going into this, I thought I'd look things up because I don't know my outfielders very well. But there's a when you're looking up, who's your favorite center fielder or best center fielder. There's so many considerations: defensive play, offensive, that kind of thing. But anyway, this guy kind of stood out to me, and I remember watching him play and thought he was good. Torrey Hunter of the Twins.
Oh,
Yeah.
Five,
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. hmm
9 Golden Gloves as a center fielder. That's pretty impressive. Um,
hmm
5-time All Star. So just kind of a weird pick for a Giants fan, but that's who I'm going with.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. And he was supposedly a tremendous teammate.
Yeah,
He made all the new guys feel welcome. And, um, if somebody was not hustling, he was the guy that was letting them know, hey, you're in the big leagues now. We don't do that here. So,
yeah,
You remember the
yep.
All-Star game that ended in the tie? He took one away from Barry Bonds in the late innings of the game that actually would have broken that tie. And I remember Bud Selig was sort of unhappy with him for quite a while.
yes, yes, yes. Oh, my God. We have to go into extra innings in an all star game and nobody has any players left. So, yeah. All right, Chuck, who's up next?
How about Robbie?
Well, okay, thank you. As a kid growing up, reading all my old baseball books and stuff, I was always fascinated by this guy. I haven't seen too much footage of him. I hear it's out there, but in every book I've ever read, anybody that ever played during his time will tell you he was the greatest player that ever played. And it's not Ruth or Goff, who you might think they would say that about. It's the center fielder for the Boston Red Sox for 21 years, Tris Speaker.
Yeah.
345 career batting average, and he still holds a whole bunch of like what is it? Putouts by a center fielder. He still holds the record today. Oh no, I guess he was passed by Mays, but he held that record for 70 some odd years. He still holds the records for assists and double plays and unassisted double plays by an outfielder. So those records have stood for, we're talking about, we're coming up on 100 years for some of those records now. It's fascinating to hear other guys talk about Chris Speaker, and they even in some of the documentaries and stuff, guys' voices drop really low and they speak very reverentially about Chris Speaker. So he's always held sort of a special spot for me. And I think in the 1959 Fleer Hall of Fame baseball card set, the Tris Speaker card was the very first card I ever got. So as a kid, that was kind of a big deal. So Tris Speaker has always been a favorite of mine because of that.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice. Hall of Famer. Yep.
Yep.
Tiger?
Hey guys, I'm gonna dig. I'm gonna dig deep on this one. I'm going with Ken Henderson.
Oh,
So Ken Henderson's story. I met him at fantasy camp. He was one of my coaches. He was hired by the Giants to back up Willie Mays, and he anytime Willie Mays wanted to take a day off, Ken Henderson was put in. Willie Mays never came out. He got to play 3 times maybe, and he was probably the greatest backup to the greatest.
yep.
Yeah.
Ken Henderson, that's my pick. Webby?
Very
Well,
nice.
Henderson, he had a great career
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
He once he left the Giants, he was with the White Sox and the Cubs and half a dozen other teams and put together some very solid stats as a everyday ball player with other teams. He got some chances with the Giants. I think
Yeah.
one year didn't he hit 15 homers with the Giants?
Yeah, he played left field with Bonds and right and Mays in center.
Yeah,
That was part
yeah.
of their outfield, but
Yeah, but he
Mhm.
yeah.
was he was he was traded. He bought they the Giants took him so he could back up Willie Mays whenever Willie took a break, and Willie
Yeah,
never
which was
never took a
never. Yeah,
break, so he had to play left
yeah.
field and right field. And
He he was my favorite player as a little kid, and he was the first player that taught me the reality of your favorite player could be taken off of your favorite team.
oh yeah,
When he
oh
got
that
traded to the White
isn't that
Sox, I
that is
I
just
I
heartbreaking.
cried that night that Ken
Yeah,
Henderson was gone. That yeah, that was a heartbreaking reality hit for me in terms of losing players. So.
yeah.
All
Anyway,
right,
Web.
let me finish out this round. Uh, I'm going to go with a guy that you guys are probably not going to mention because he's just been out of the limelight for so long because of injuries. But Mike Trout um, has spent most of his career as a center fielder. Most recently, because of injuries, they're looking at him as a DH slash right fielder because the guy is all out on every play, and sometimes that equates to injuries. Um, they are actually trying to get him to spend less time in the weight room and maybe get into kind of what they call baseball shape, where you're not too muscle bound and you can recover more quickly. But the guy was an all world talent at the in the prime of his game. He's still likely a Hall of Famer, but just the combination of power, speed, and you know uh, hustle in the outfield. Uh, he became one of my favorite players the first time I heard him interviewed. Oh my God, this is a guy who actually loves the game of baseball and can't wait to get out to the park every day.
Right.
So I'll go with Mike Trout.
So what
All
is he in
right.
Babe Ruth baseball shape right now?
The Angels said they felt he was a little bit too muscle bound, and that was causing cramping and strains and stuff like that. So they asked him to skip the weight room and maybe have a pizza and a soda every once in a while. So
A cigar
He's
and a
got
few
a
beers.
Hey, we should have him hang out with us. We could fix his problems in
Yeah,
a
we could
hurry.
fix
yeah,
that.
that's right.
No
That's right.
trouble.
Yeah.
he also has bad knees according to
Oh yeah.
this
Hmm.
thing. So he's battling the knee thing.
That was my
Yep.
number three, by the way, Rob. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Good. Good.
You bet.
All right. Let's go into round four. Um, Terry, start us off.
Round 4. I'm gonna go with an old guy. Um, Ty Cobb is who I'm talking about. He was
Oh.
He's
Yeah,
a
he's old.
classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
one
he's
of
not
the
looking too good these days.
Yeah, he was
he's
good
Yeah,
when
one
he
of
yeah.
was
the
young.
vintage players. But let's see, Ty Cobb. Oh man, I didn't write any notes on him. He's on the Philadelphia A's, but that
Hmm.
obviously is a long time ago. He's drafted by the Tigers.
Yeah.
Uh,
More known as a Tiger than anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
he passed away in 1961 at age 74. Well, Ty Cobb was just a great center fielder, set 90 MLB records. Wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
People,
he had, oh,
people think,
he had 403 seasons.
yeah, he says he was a great player, but no, you won't find too many people that thought he was a great human being. Um,
uh,
you,
Yeah.
he, he has some background as being racist
uh, yeah,
and
it says here
wouldn't put,
somewhat tarnished by allegations of racism and violence. Great,
yeah,
great guy.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, Ty
yeah,
Cobb. Uh,
good choice.
Robbie,
Well,
number four.
we got a timely call in here.
Hey, we're trying to get the message to you guys for Mike Trout that round is a shape.
Yes, round is a shape. Yes,
We all know that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's a great reminder that you can interact with this show while it's live by pressing that red microphone button at the bottom of your screen. Leave us a message. We'll comment it. We'll play it. Even if we're not supposed to play the cuss words, but I will. So go ahead and
yeah,
fire it off.
yeah. But
You know,
what he doesn't know is that if you do swear, we're probably not going to see it anyway. So, yeah.
well,
Have you
Swear.
ever
hopefully
thought
he
of that?
left that message on his way here.
Yeah. Swear
That
strategically.
way I might get a beer.
Swear strategically. That's all I have to say.
All
Um,
right.
all right. So my number four, I think all of us got a chance to see this guy play in one way, shape, or form or another, but I always liked him. He wasn't a classic gliding gazelle, graceful center fielder. The guy played hard all the time. He was a great base stealer, and he was considered spare parts by the Chicago Cubs because they had Rick Monday playing center field at the time. So they traded Billy North to the Oakland A's, where he went on to have a great career with the A's, part of those World Series teams in the early 70s, and then went over to the Giants and became the best center fielder they had had since Willie Mays retired. I mean, that was just a big, huge gaping hole in their defense for years. And Bill North came over and really settled things out. Played great for both Bay Area teams, but I always liked watching him. I thought he was fun to watch.
A
Good
speedster.
speedster,
Nice.
slap hitter, guy. He knew how to move the ball around, lay down bunts when they weren't ready for it. I mean, all the stuff that we
Yeah.
really love in baseball. Billy North could do it and do it well. So, thank you, Chicago Cubs, for yet again making another goofy ass trade.
Go Cubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Billy North when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love
Hmm.
watching him.
I remember him.
Yep. Well, I guess Webby, since we brought up the Cubs, we may as well hear your
Oh,
story about Jim Hickman.
no, no, no. We're not going to talk about Jim Hickman tonight. It's all Jerry Morales. No. All right. I'm going to bring up a center fielder who is thought of being one of the greatest fielding center fielders of all time in the big leagues. And Chuck, he's a Stockton Port. He was a Stockton Port.
Oh,
Very
yay!
nice. All right.
Paul Blair. Paul Blair.
Yeah.
Uh, many of many of our listeners would know him as an Oriole or a Yankee. Had an illustrious career. Not a great hitter, but just a field general. He ran the outfield. He told the left fielders and right fielders, this is where you're positioned. Um, Rarely made an error, whether that be fielding or throwing, and a good teammate. Didn't seek the limelight, but was there for a lot of the great moments in Oriole and Yankee history, playoff history. Um, Fun to watch, and as we've mentioned before, there's a picture of him in one of the suites at Stockton Ports Field, Banner Island Ballpark. I think we have. decided that picture's from 1963 or 64
Right.
when Blair was a port. So,
Yep.
Nice.
all right,
Great defensive center
Chuck.
fielder. He could track him down.
All right.
Chuck, did
Well,
you?
yeah,
Is
I've
this
got I got a guy.
all
What's
right?
that? I'm talking over you. Sorry. What would you say?
He was burping.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Oh, he was belching. Oh, okay.
That
Yeah.
was Terry.
Yeah. This guy's one of my favorite players. In addition to being a awesome center fielder, 10 Gold Gloves. I got to see him play. I don't know, 2 or 3 times I think up in Seattle. But Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
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 13-time All Star, 7-time Silver Slugger, MVP a couple times I think. But he was just a tremendous player, both offense and defense. So that's who I like at center field.
Yeah.
Good pick.
There's an iconic play that he made. You know, there's so many over the wall catches that he made,
Yeah,
but there was another one. The ball was um, I don't think it was over the wall, but I remember him grabbing onto the wall as if he was Spider-Man. You know, the outfield walls that had the cushion in
yeah,
Seattle. So
and
he
pull himself
jams,
up. Yeah,
yeah, he jammed his cleats into the wall and kind of tried to hang on. Um, I think it was in order to position himself to make a catch and throw. Um, but yeah, I mean, few guys could do something like that. Although Bo Jackson comes to mind. So, all right,
yeah,
two
yeah.
two rounds done.
That's
Robbie,
because that's
what
because Bo knows Spider-Man.
that Bo knows Spider-Man. All right, Robbie, what happens now?
Well, the first thing is I have a question for Chuck.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
That's a classic line from a
Yes, it
classic
is.
movie right there. That's a good pull. And the answer is no, he does not.
oh, okay.
All right. Well, hey, the highlights from Lowlife show. This is 89, 90. Where are we at?
This is
89,
this is number 90. Yeah.
90.
Wow.
Well,
Mhm.
and every single episode's been sponsored by our good friends at Almanac Beer Company in Alameda, California. They are truly one of America's premier craft brewers. They make so many great different selections of beers, from light, easy drinking, refreshing beers up to the big old barrel aged sours, which I think we might be even talking about that a little bit tonight. But um, this is the point in the show where we like to talk about the beers we're drinking from an almanac. And I'm a huge fan of their lager series. It changes about every 3 months. And right now we're on the Buenos Vibras Mexican style lager, which is, like I called it, the refreshing part of the line of the beers that they make. This is just easy to drink, great flavor, and I'm digging it. You guys, what are you drinking?
Hey,
Nice.
I'm drinking the Flow West Coast Pale Ale. You know what the Flow Pale Ale does? It puts you in the zones. This West Coast Pale Ale is an easygoing brew, dry hop with Simcoe and Eldorado hops. Where's Simcoe?
Simcoe, just outside of Elko.
Okay.
It's a suburb. Don't
Try
look
a
it up on the
flow.
map. You'll never find it.
Try a flow. It's delicious. Yeah, oh, and
All right.
it also comes with a free sticker.
Very nice.
So Chuck, apparently you do not have an almanac with you. What are you
Y-
drinking then?
Yes, well, I've had a little mishap. Left the office in a hurry. Forgot my ice chest with the almanac in it. So I don't know. Just to stay refreshed, I'm drinking some Walgreens Advanced Hand Sanitizer. Freaking delicious. It's vitamin E. Vitamin E. Highly recommend it.
I think the aloe makes it go down a lot smoother too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It just slides right down your gullet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
yeah.
lavender scent makes your breath taste very
It,
pleasant.
it kills germs too, which is good for me. So,
Well,
how
thank
it
you to the
leaves
folks at Walgreens.
how it leaves your hands soft when you drink it is beyond me, but
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm sure there's some science in there that I'm not aware of.
Well,
Well, that
I
dream didn't work
was
out too good now, did it?
I was ever so excited when Robbie bought me a case of the new Almanac sour. This is the plum sour. Um, I've been through the strawberry, the grapefruit, watermelon. I don't know, but no plum. So this is my first plum, and so far so good.
I bet you can't wait for the prune sour.
Yeah, the prune sour. Almanac. Do not go forward with your plans for a prune sour. I'll do the plum,
It's a
but
senior
no prune.
citizen favorite.
People,
Yes,
people,
yes.
people will be running for that.
Boo!
Oh, come on.
real smooth, Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, we
Real
gotta.
smooth.
By
kinda
the way, we
cute.
got a couple of what you drinking.
Hey, Chuck, go easy on that. It probably has more alcohol in it than the almanac beers.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, it
yeah.
could.
That's on the side. It says 16% alcohol. So yeah.
Let me see. I can't read it. I had too much of it already.
Hey, I'm down here in Ojai, California, and I'm having a true almanac American lager. It's a little bit different than the Coles. Um, it's not disappointing. It's a good beer for a nice warm day down here.
Excellent.
Thank you, Almanac.
I'm gonna have to get a.
True American lager.
I'm gonna have to get a case for that and not share it with Weber, so I can tell him all about how good it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's okay. I've got way too much sour. Way too much sour.
Anyway, well, that's what you're drinking. Once again, thanks to our friends at Almanac, and really go out of your way to make the trip over there. The brewery's great. It's a lot of fun for the whole family. And the beers are outstanding. And if you tell them you heard about them from the Highlights from Lowlife show, they may take pity upon you.
Oh yeah,
thank,
cool,
thank
cool.
you, Almanac.
All right, let's get into our round three picks. Chuck, you finished that round. Who's up next?
Hey, let's go with you this time, Rob.
All right, I'm going to choose a player that I actually got to meet post career. Duke Snyder. Duke was a longtime outfielder with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Great career.
Boo!
He was considered to be one of the big three center fielders of his time, along with Mays and Mantle. Um, really nice guy, uh, good fielder, great power hitter. Um, and I think he finished up his career with the New York Mets. Oh my God, Terry just disappeared. He went behind the curtain. I wonder what's back there. I bet there's cases of almanac. So at any rate, Duke in his later years he moved to Northern California, up in the Mendocino area, and got to see him a couple times there, and also out at the Dodger Fantasy Camp. Even when he was struggling to walk and get around, he'd ride around in the golf cart and make sure he said hi to every one of the campers.
Pay
Just a
no
great guy.
attention to the man behind the curtain.
It's too late. It's too
Don't
late.
worry.
We know that you went back there to get some almanac, and that's okay. All right, Chuck, number three
Yes.
pick.
Well, my number 3 pick was Mike Trout, and I think we've already discussed him. Although, if he gets healthy, he could end up with some of the biggest numbers as a center fielder in baseball history. I mean, already 11-time All Star and 9-time Silver Slugger, 3 MVPs. You know, if he can stay
I
healthy,
agree.
he can
Hmm.
he can blow out some of those records.
Yep, love to see it.
Yeah,
Don't know if Everybody says the only thing missing for him is being on a winning team. So yeah, the
yeah,
Angels are not going to be knocking down the door anytime soon. So
There's a lot of people
so
that like to see him back near his hometown playing for the Phillies,
yeah,
yeah,
agreed.
definitely.
where he might have a chance to win something.
All right, Chuck, who's up?
Let's go, Robbie.
All right, mine might be a little bit controversial with some Giants fans, but I really like the guy, and I think the team that we know of the decades of the 2010s really took a turn when this guy came over. He was known as a great clubhouse guy, a great unifier of players. The old before he got here, the Giants were kind of like the old Red Sox used to be: 25 players, 25 cabs at the end of the night. And this guy was the guy that got people to go out together and spend time together and all of that. He made one of the greatest catches I ever saw, running full long into a fence that was half padded and half cyclone fence, cutting up his face, breaking a tooth and the whole thing, and bleeding all over his uniform and staying in the game. And that, of course, is Aaron Rowan.
Yes.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
I did love
Hmm.
watching Aaron Rowan play. I mean, he was more heart than talent, and got everything out of it he could. I know it ended kind of auspiciously at the end of his career. Everything just went at once, but I really love watching the guy play. I really did. And a lot of the guys on those Giants pennant winning teams will talk about him, that he was the one that kind of brought them together, brought some leadership, brought some cohesiveness um, to those teams. So yeah, Aaron Rowan definitely on my list.
Nice.
He had the didn't he have the potty squat batting stance?
Yeah,
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. The
but
girls thought he was creepy.
on the they always Mike
Oh,
Krukow would always show that thing where he had that weird stance, and then at the point of contact with the ball, he was like every other player.
Hmm. Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, good old
He had
Aaron
that.
Rowan.
He had the hula step in,
Yep.
to put it nicely.
Hmm.
All right, who's remaining in this round then? Terry?
Yeah.
Terry.
yeah.
So this one is a little personal for me. This is I'm talking about Mickey Mantle,
Mm.
and I mean it's one of the givens, obviously. Um, 20-time All Star. He played for the Yankees from 51 to 68, 7 World Series champions. But for me, that's why I had to run behind the curtain. My Little League glove is a Mickey Mantle.
Ah, that is
Nice.
My
so cute.
my dad bought it for me when I was in Little League. It's pretty small,
Yeah,
but I still have
it's good you can still get your thumb in there.
it.
You might want to try
Anyway,
using that.
Mickey Mantle. Yeah. Oh, it's really thin. the palm, the palm would is it was thin before. Anyway, Mickey Mantle. You all know who he is. Gold. Oh, he's got a triple crown, a Gold Glove. He was the American League RBI leader in '56. Just you know, a staple veteran of
A
all
good
time.
guy.
And
Good guy.
a
Pretty
really
good
great
guy.
restaurant in Oklahoma City.
His uh, his family his family wasn't so great, but he was a great player.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. That
Okay.
completes round three. Let's go ahead and do a round two. And Tara, who's going to start off this round?
Hey Chuck, are you ready?
Yeah, sure. I'm ready.
Okay.
My number two is Mickey Mantle. Thanks a lot. So what I'll do is I'll sub in my honorable mention at this point. Giants fans are gonna think of this guy maybe not as a center fielder, more of a utility outfielder type guy, but he made a play that will go down in history as one of the best. And unfortunately, he did play most of his career as a center fielder, um, but this particular play he made as a right fielder, and it was in June 13th, 2012, when he made the over-the-shoulder diving catch in right center to preserve Matt Cain's perfect game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gregor Blanco.
Good
So
good one.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, when you think about that guy, uh, you know, maybe the Giants don't get to the World Series without him in 12 and 14. He was that instrumental to what they were trying to do those years, and he was amazing. So
Yes. Yes.
I I was talking with Vita Blue one time about Gregor Blanco, and one of the funniest things I ever said or I ever heard was from Vita when Vita said Gregor Blanco is plays better when he's not playing. And yeah, it's because
Yeah.
it's kind of a yogiism. Like what he meant was he wasn't he was a great guy off the bench. Like,
Yeah.
once here and there and a couple times a week playing. For a while there, he had to play every day, and that wasn't his forte. He was a guy that was really good at coming
Yeah.
off the bench and being effective in limited playing time. So yeah, I
Yeah.
always thought that was
And,
funny. He's
and they played him everywhere too.
yeah,
Left field, center field, right field. He's just kind of a subbed him in and out, kind
yeah,
of, and that was
Yeah.
perfect for him.
yeah.
And he was instrumental at the plate too. I mean, he always came up with a clutch hit when they needed one, and
And he was yeah.
yeah,
The less he played, the better he was.
yeah,
And he seemed like a really humble guy too. So there you
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Chuck, who's up next?
Who you got, Terry?
Back to me.
Yeah,
Good old Joe DiMaggio. The obvious.
Ooh.
Joe DiMaggio. I'm trying to. I keep seeing people born in November when I was born, and it's. Oh, did you know Joe DiMaggio's from Martinez, California?
I did. I did know that.
Well, of course you did.
I did not. I did not.
go. So were
Thank
Dom
you.
and Vince.
uh, but oh yeah, don't forget who he's married to, Marilyn Monroe. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
he was just another solid veteran. I didn't
What?
even. That's funny. The first thing I saw was Martinez, California. That is, if you're watching from somewhere else, Martinez, California, from the San Francisco is like 15 miles away. I didn't know Martinez could produce a Joe DiMaggio.
And a Dom
They produce a
DiMaggio
lot
and
of
a Vince DiMaggio.
Yeah.
and a lot of oil,
Yeah.
Yeah.
lots of oil.
Oh, you've been to that pizza place.
Yes.
13-time All-Star, 9-time World Series champion. Just a tremendous center fielder.
Oh,
Uh,
56 game hitting streak too. Yeah.
and their
oh
their
wow!
dad was not a fan of baseball, didn't know anything about baseball because he's an Italian immigrant. All three of his sons went on to be all-star center fielders.
Amazing.
Well, they had a good coach.
Really is.
Uh, Rob, how about you?
Which Rob?
Rob,
Rob, not
not
Rob
Robbie.
E.
Not
Rob.
Robbie.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Rob.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about Mickey Mantle. See, I am not threatened by the fact that somebody else took Mickey Mantle. I'm going to tell you my Mickey Mantle story because he's one of my favorites.
Really?
Um,
You can tell the one you told before we got on air?
no, I'm not going to tell that one.
Or are you going to tell the
Okay.
one
So
you told last week?
I I thought Mickey Mantle was um, I respected him more at the end of his career when he let people know that he could have played longer if he had taken better care of himself, um, and hadn't been out drinking and carousing all the time. He was very humble when disease struck, and he kept telling people, if you live a life like this is the type of thing that'll happen to you. Um, he was always generous with his time, um, signing autographs or doing speaking engagements. He loved baseball. He loved the attention of the city of New York. Not everybody handles that very well. He did great. Um, just a good person, I think. And it's fun to listen to stories that he would tell about the times he would hang out with Whitey Ford and Roger Maris and Billy Martin and all the things that they did and the things they got to experience. So Mickey Mantle, he's definitely on my list. So
And he married Marilyn Monroe.
Not the
no,
Mick.
that's Joe DiMaggio.
Oh, and
Mick
he
Yeah.
dated
married.
14 Marilyn
Yeah.
Monroe
Yeah.
lookalikes.
Sorry, yeah, they all look alike to me.
All right, Robbie, did you get a number two pick there?
Not yet.
Okay, go for it.
I will say with the if you're in Oklahoma City, Mickey Mantle's Steakhouse right near the ballpark there, the AAA minor league ballpark, absolutely delicious, great food, but it's a baseball haven that you would not expect. Not only is it, I mean, it really is a great. Oh my God, it's a great cut of steak. But on the walls, they have all sorts of the usual pictures and everything. But there's a bunch of stuff from his personal collection of like his razor and like things like that. You can just walk the restaurant and it's like the Mickey Mantle Museum. So it's a great stop if you happen to be out there, and I'm hoping that they will pay me for this plug. So anyway,
Oh, sure, sure.
my number two pick, it's another giant center fielder. Um, I really liked watching this guy. Now, where I talked about Billy North was all effort, and body parts flying everywhere, however he played the game. Gary Maddox was the quintessential galloping gazelle, graceful center fielder with the Giants and the Phillies. The guy covered ground, and it never looked hard because he was just that good. And on top of that, my grandmother on my dad's side used to have a poodle that looked just like him.
Good to know. Good to
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
but I loved how that guy played the game. He was smooth, and he just put his head down and played the game hard every day, and but he just made it look easy. He made center field look like one of the easiest places to play on the field just because he was just so smooth and so good at it. So he was fun to watch, and he's another guy, man. The Giants trade him, and I'm crying into my pillow at night. So yeah,
Oh,
I know it's
that's
sad.
Aw, it really is.
all right. We have completed the second round.
Well,
Um,
that just goes to show that the
well, I
teams are
guess we
really
haven't completed the second round.
really. it's just a it's just a point. I used to be
Well, we have.
I was a teacher, and here in the East Bay, when they got rid of Cespedes, my students, they cried. They were so they were so hurt by that trade. Um,
Hmm.
it just and then seats. He was a seat filler for the young children. So
Yeah.
I can see where Robbie, you were upset back then.
Oh yeah, I can give you a
So
list of 12 guys that it
nowadays
crushed me.
it's a whole different game, and
Yep.
it's hard for young people to get attached to their favorite players.
Yeah.
I mean, we're lucky. We had Willie Mays forever, and we had other players that we got to
Yeah.
watch. And we get it when they go for their last season somewhere else, but that's beside the point.
Well
Hmm.
said.
Did the kids in Oakland cry when Jose Canseco left too? I can't
Of
remember.
laughter. Oh, that was a weird time. That was a bad time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Let's. We completed round two. Tell you a little bit about mic'd up, and then we'll go and finish off with our number one picks. Um, so you're watching us on the mic'd up app, which is available on both Android and Apple platforms. If you download the app, it is free, and you can see all of the other shows that are on this platform. There's quite a few others. We have been doing this for 90 shows now. We have the longest running show here, and we are always better when you participate. So if you get the app downloaded, you can leave us a question. Um, there's a microphone at the bottom of the screen. Just tap that, and you've got 30 seconds to record something, review it, and then send it to us, and we'll see it and play it on the air, as Robbie said. So, what we're looking for in our shows is your opinion. If you have any questions about what we're talking about, but more importantly, we want your opinion. It makes the show a lot more fun when you're participating, and we get to hear what you think of a topic, and we will uh, answer as many questions as we can. The best way to get notified when our show is on, we're we're going to do a show and try to do a show every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. But if you want to know what the show is in advance, Oh, Chuck's taking another sip of his hand sanitizer. If you want to know what the show is in advance, you need to follow us. So find an open show and hit the blue heart next to either a host or the show name. And then every time there's a new show posting, you'll get notified and you can leave your questions long before we go on the air. So it doesn't have to be live. Either way works. All right. Let's go on to round number one. All right. Who finished up that round? That was you, Robbie?
Yep.
All right. Who's up?
Well, we better get Chuck before he gets hammered on his hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. Yeah, my tongue is so soft right now.
Yes, yes.
Um, but I thought we all agreed that number one's Willie Mays, so we might as well just all talk about him, kind of round robin here, huh?
Sure, sure. We can do that. So
Yeah.
tell us why
Well,
he's your favorite.
well, 12 Golden Gloves as a center fielder. That's pretty amazing, almost unheard of. But 24-time All-Star, two-time MVP. I mean, there's not many greater players, no less center fielders, that have ever played the game. So uh, that's Willie.
Cool, cool.
You got more?
Not to mention he
Oh,
played in the Negro League,
yeah,
so
yeah.
he was a
All right.
pioneer that way.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tara, give us your total download as to why Willie Mays is your favorite.
Because I have a Bat Day bat from him with his autograph.
Oh,
What's funny is
Nice.
we found in storage. We found a green army duffel bag full of bats, wooden bats, and there we had 3 or 4 green ones. I have a Campy Campaneris and a Joe Rudy, and then
uh-huh.
I have a Willie Mays in there too. And back when we were kids, they gave you a full size bat, which is awesome. As
Nice.
a matter of fact,
That,
first bat I ever broke in half was one of the green A's bats. But
Me too.
that's Willie Mays. Just we grew up with him. He was like an uncle to us.
yeah, yeah.
Robbie.
If you guys aren't aware, Terry's family owns a bunch of storage unit places called units. So if you're looking for storage, go on down and check out Terry's family's units.
Uh, it's
I'm gonna
a
pass. That's a hard pass.
you get a regular unit or a big unit. just call the 800
Oh,
number.
no, a big unit. All right.
All right. Well, May, I'm wearing the shirt, so Mays is clearly the one. I mean, he's iconic and everything, but he's not my number one on my list just because I thought it was too obvious. So my number one, Fred Lynn. I love watching that guy. He was fearless. He probably cut his own career short because he played the game so hard, ran into walls all the time, making catches, making spectacular plays. I mean, one of the greatest seasons I ever saw was that 75 season with Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season, leading the Red Sox out of nowhere to the World Series. And boy, oh boy, that guy could play. He loved to play. He loved to talk about playing. He loves to play and talk about playing. Anything to do with baseball, Fred Lynn is just he's one of us really. He just likes to talk about the game, and he's a great interview. But he was so entertaining to watch. You just knew he was going to do something spectacular every single night that he played. So I love Fred Lynn.
Yeah.
But, he's my number one on the list, even though number one in my heart.
Nice.
All right. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to Willie. Um, you guys grew up in California. I did not. I wasn't out here until 75. So Willie's time as a Giant was done by then, and he was retired. I think his last year in the big leagues was 73 with the Mets. Um, but if you guys remember back in the day, it was very difficult to see baseball games on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to live in Chicago, and there was a flagship station that did 140 something games. But in most parts of the country, the only time you get a game is on the weekend. And The hope was it wasn't another Yankee game, that maybe, just maybe, you got to see some of the talent in other towns other than New York or Boston. And I remember tuning into a game, Giants and I believe the Pirates, and there's an iconic catch that Willie Mays made where he and Bobby Bonds go up for the ball. Both of them are above the fence and they collide, and Mays gets knocked out. Bonds is down on the ground writhing in pain, but Willie caught the ball, a ball that would have been a home run out of Candlestick. He caught the ball, and I mean that play has been made into paintings. It's been made into drawings. The photo is you see it at card shows. This iconic Willie Mays play, and it people would argue it's not even the best catch he made. There's the over the shoulder one at the Polo Grounds early in his career with a enormous throw back into the infield. He was just there was nobody like him.
Yeah.
I guess the closest thing you've seen recently would be Griffey, but he was just a great player in all aspects. And when I would get to see a game in Chicago of Willie Mays, that was a big highlight. You got to see that guy. So yeah, he's nobody like him.
So it wasn't the Pirates; it was the Reds. You know who
It
hit
was the
that ball?
Reds. Okay,
You know who hit that ball?
I don't.
Bobby Tolan.
Bobby Tolan. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Was that a
I
playoff
thought you'd
game?
be way more impressed.
No.
No, it's good
No,
knowledge.
I think
It's
that
good
was a
knowledge.
Saturday in July. It was just a
It
game.
was not a playoff game. Okay,
No,
got it.
no.
All right. So, Robbie, you should tell us about why you think Willie Mays is the best.
He's the greatest player that ever lived, and I do remember seeing him. I got to see him both live and on TV. I mean, it was just the legend. It's one of the few times where the legend matches the fact. You know, the old line in the man who shot Liberty Valance. It goes, when it comes to the facts and the legend, print the legend. Willie Mays, he lived the legend. He was the legend. Just the way he carried himself on and off the field, the way he played the game, everything about him is just he and at least for me, and I've mentioned Clemente before. They were the two guys that always looked different to me than anybody else playing baseball at that time, and it was, I mean, they're heroes of mine just because of that. So I mean, they stood
Yeah.
out. They were just significantly different than everybody else.
Mhm.
So that's it for me.
Agreed. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
And
are through.
my
Oh,
grandparents
there we
brought me the
go.
statue in 1967 at the ballpark.
Ah,
Wow.
the basket
Yeah.
catch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The basket catch statue.
All right. We're all through with our picks for the evening. It looks like we've got a few play-ins here, Rob.
Yeah.
Uh, get those in.
Here we go. Big Juicy.
All right, you guys, my challenge is to come up with a name you haven't picked already, and I'm going to go with the Brooklyn and LA Dodger, Duke Snyder.
Boo.
It sounds like he's at a rave.
Yeah. I think
Mosh pit.
Yeah. He's
Nice
dropping some
one, Big
X.
Juicy.
All right, JC checks in.
JC, Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. That's all I have to say.
it was a
Oh,
song, wasn't it?
yeah, it
Willie,
was.
Mickey, and the Duke.
Okay, so he said that's all I have to say, and yet he had to say more.
He said something more.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys were talking about the Stockton Ports and center fielders, and how could you forget Sky Bolt?
Sky Bolt.
He's
Yeah.
also an answer to two Joe Matlin trivia questions. Enjoy, boys.
Oh.
So Joe Matlin is one of the Stockton Port Silver Slugger guys that goes to the games with us, and he's extremely nerdy. So there's always these weird trivia questions.
Yeah, but not as good as the ones we do. Yeah.
No, ours are better
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
hey,
Sky
hey,
Bolt played as a River Cat too, didn't he?
I believe so. Yes.
We have a response from Big Juicy.
Hey, yeah, in the background, I had center field beginning, John Fogerty.
Ooh,
So it was
very good.
Right.
Put me
a
in,
senior
He
coach.
was
citizen,
very topical.
a
Yeah.
senior citizen rave.
We should have known that. We should have known that. I'm ashamed of myself for not knowing that.
I,
All right.
I think
Any
Fancy
good?
Jack needs a beer chaser with his
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
hand
It's
sanitizer.
Chuck's starting to act out a little bit. All
Lavender.
right. We got a few minutes here. And any good honorable mentions you want to throw in there?
Oh man,
I've
used
got
them all
I've
up.
got three that I couldn't figure out how to work them in. So we've talked on this show several times about the quality of play and of Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker, but the Detroit Tigers at that time had a great center fielder playing with them, and he fit in with those two guys because they were both guys again kept their mouths shut, put their head down, played hard every damn day, never complained, always gave their best. And Chet Lemon was the center fielder with those guys, and he was the same way. And he's another guy. He just run it down. He played the game right. Love Chet Lemon. Then there, of
Yeah.
course, Kirby Puckett. I'm not sure any guy ever loved playing baseball more than Kirby Puckett.
Yep. Yep.
And then,
You
Excellent
had to with
choice.
that last name.
yeah, and then lastly, I mean, he went from being a Gold Glove shortstop to being a Gold Glove center fielder. Arguably the two toughest positions on the field. He excelled at both of them. Robbie Blount.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I liked watching him play. He's a good dude.
All right. I got a few. Um, Bernie Williams,
Mm,
um, the
the
guy
one
that,
Yankee
that
I can tolerate.
yeah, I mean, the guy was a tremendous center fielder, a very good hitter, and an accomplished jazz guitar player. So
A
he's
Gra-
got that going for him.
a Grammy award winning.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He was smooth out there and um, didn't need the limelight. That was for other people. He just went out there and did his job. Andrew Jones, man,
Oh yeah,
uh, came into big leagues at the age of 19. Um, had a similar track to Willie Mays, but went off in a different direction. Not nearly the hitter that Mays was,
right.
but fun to watch. Um, and then another guy that I thought was really smooth, kind of like Bernie Williams, was Devon White.
Oh yeah,
Years playing for the Blue Jays and the Royals and teams like that. Just a top notch player.
yeah.
So
You're absolutely right.
yeah.
Good call. I forgot
Mhm.
about him.
Yeah.
You guys got any?
Well, how about this for a topic? The high dollar amount for some of these center fielders current day, like Cody Bellinger, 26 million a year. Uh, Springer, 25 million. Jung Ho Lee, 18 million. Rodriguez, 17 million, and is it Brighton? Is that his name? Brayton, 14 million. Are these guys worth it?
No, no. None of the guys you mentioned are anywhere near
The millions.
Young
the
Ho.
caliber.
I
And
don't know.
Huh?
Have,
what did
Young.
what did
Junk?
Mays and Mantle and all those guys make?
hey, they worked in the
No.
off season.
Yeah, they had to get jobs in the off season. Yeah. Chuck, maybe Jung Ho Lee will be a good player. Maybe
Yeah.
I
No.
we
I
don't
think.
know.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's pretty
we're
young yet.
we're we're 2 months in. We'll see.
Oh,
Um,
we
oh,
have a we got a call in. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jim
Got
need
Jim called in. Jim
Jim
DeVica,
DeVikas.
CEO of micdup.
No center fielder changed a hitter's approach more than Paul Blair.
That's what I said. Yes.
That's a good one.
So you
That's a
think the
good one.
CEO of Mic'd Up would know not to get right on top of the mic?
Jim has a deep
Careful
voice
now.
and he enunciates. and he isn't hammered on sand
Oh,
sanitizer.
Check
who's
out that
hammered?
sour Nova,
Hand
folks.
Get
sanitizer.
it? Sort of.
Have another plum.
Rob, here, here,
Or another
let me give you
prune.
some of this. You, you need to get your brain back in gear here. Here you go.
It looks like Mr. Hall has thrown in
Are you
another one
Oh,
are you
he
for
sure
us.
has.
that wasn't
Oh,
Darth Vader?
and actually, you know what? This is very insightful, and one of us should have come up with this. So I'm glad he called in with it.
Hey, how about honorable mention, Cool Papa Bell?
Great. All right. Do you guys know the standard story they tell about Cool Papa Bell? I love this story.
Yeah, it's great.
He was so fast that if you hit the light switch on the wall, he was under the covers before the light actually went out. That's fast. That is very, very
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be fast.
Hmm. All right. Any others?
I
That's it. All
Nope,
right.
that's
we,
it.
That's
you know
it.
what? I will, because I owe it to the family. Gary Matthews Jr. may have made, next to Mays, the greatest catch a center fielder ever made in Texas against Mike Lamb, when he climbed the 10-foot wall, got over the top of the wall, and reached over the wall with. And I've met Junior; he's like 6'3" and huge, like a basketball player's wingspan. Caught the home run ball at the tip of his glove, up a good 3.5 feet past the edge of the wall. So he went up 10 feet, and his body's in. If you've seen the video, his body, he's more than half over that fence when he leaps
Yes.
and puts his arm out and makes that catch. So we're talking
Yes.
center fielders, maybe the greatest catch in our era, at least, if not all
Yes. It
time.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
All
tip of the
right.
cap, Sarge. I
Hey.
did my job.
Yes. Yes. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll be back on the air next Wednesday night with another fun topic. We don't know what it is yet, but we'll talk about it and get back to you.
And
All
don't
right?
forget to look for us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. We're out there now.
Yes. Yes. You get to see clips of past shows and see how wonderful we are, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
See you next
All
week.
right. Yep.
Oh,
Thanks. Play us out, Robbie.
yeah. Don't forget to thank Almanac one more
Remember,
time.
remember your Walgreens hand sanitizer next time.
Highlights from Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
Got to get a beer.
Yeah, you do. Run.